Okay, let's see. This is round 4, and we're going to take it to the limit, etc. Get pumped. I don't know. Have to win this one. I mean, we don't have to. Actually, the best part about draft as opposed to competitive draft is that you can never play in a subsequent draft based on your record. So you don't really need to worry too much about winning or losing. Like, you get cards no matter what you place. It's just a matter of like how much you get and the quality of cards you get, which is nice actually. I don't like in competitive drafts you pretty much have to go 3-1 every time, which is kind of stressful because if you go 2-2, you can't play in another draft because you don't get enough event tickets back to play in another one. Usually not that big a deal once you get good enough, but for new players especially, like the pressure to just always constantly perform or be punished by not being able to play for like a week, it's pretty intense. I actually like how Stoneblade did the casual draft, so you can draft like twice a week now with 3 tickets entry. So playing against Mr. Tiger Tracks, he has 26 cards in his deck. I wonder what his card is. So he's got a Tuscan Sporelord, which means he has a fun guy in his deck, which is a 6/6, then goes to a 12/12. This card's very good. It used to be like huge. It used to be a 7/7 and then a 12/12. And Tuscan Sporelord used to give you 2 of them, but they nerfed both of those cards. Oh, wow, that's... So he played a 6/4 that did 4 damage to me. It's usually random, but since I didn't have anything in play, it just did 4 damage to me. I don't think I block it or care about it at all. I mean, I can block a token if I want to. So he's Uterra Tempest, because we know he has a Tuscan Sporelord in his deck. So unless he pumps his Sharp Primordial Invoker... Actually, I don't want him to pump his Primordial Invoker, because if I block with Nekrium and he pumps his creature, then I have to deal with that card in addition to like not having a Nekrium. So I would rather play the Nekrium like in a side lane for Infernal Visage. Maybe also play the Delver in a side lane, then block his 6/4 next turn and just take 6. Yeah, I think that's much better. I don't think I have a creature that lives a 6/4 other than... Yeah. I've only got the Grove Matriarch and Deep Branch Prowler that live from that card, so I'm just going to trade for it. Just straight 1-for-1 trade. I'm playing the Delver over the Warclaw, just because I like having like huge Delvers. And if I draw an Infernal Visage, which I did, having a regen Delver that gets bigger is really good. Oh, I have a Portal Shade. I forgot about that. So I can actually just kill it for free here. And since he doesn't have a reason to pump it now, it's unlikely that he will. So he blocked my creatures. This is why I don't like... This is why I will rarely block on my turn. Because if you block on your turn, like Roaming Orc... I mean, I think this block is correct, because Sharkblade Delver is just too big not to block. You have to deal with it somehow. But this Stag of Bliss block, what does this do? Like, it takes 2 turns to trade with Nekrium. Actually, does it even trade with Nekrium? Yeah, it does. So it takes 2 turns to trade with Nekrium. And if I have a trick, the Stag of Bliss dies, so he's wasted a card. And, like, he gets nothing. I would rather... It's hard to deal with Nekrium. That's why Nekrium is good, because it's 7 toughness, which is a lot for rank 1. So it's hard to blame him too much. But this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. You always want to block on when the opponent is attacking into you. It's like this Primordial Invoker here. I'm going to block it because it has to attack into me. It doesn't have Summoning Sickness, so... And then, like, he gets wrecked by this Infernal Visage, but that's kind of why that card's good, so... Oh, wow. And the Oozling blocks his Raptor. It's actually probably not what I wanted, because I would rather Spirit Leash something, like Spirit Leash and Necromoeba, than block a Raptor, but... What you gonna do? So he probably kills my Delver this turn. Totem Elm Berserker on my Delver, I assume. I probably would have been a little better to deal with the Necromoeba. Oh, he has a Stormcaller. Okay, so he used his turn. I rank up next turn. Nah, it's not worth keeping this Portal Shade alive. He's Uterra Tempest, so if I play a Delver and then Spirit Leash my Oozling onto the Delver, I don't think you can deal with it. Because the way Uterra Tempest works is it has to have really high power creatures. like a Totem Bone Berserker we saw right there, that 8/2, in order to kill my creatures. Like, it doesn't have Blight Walkers, and it doesn't have Aloyan things like Nano Swarm to make my creature have 0 abilities and -5 attack, I think, at rank 1. Maybe -10. Regardless, I think my best play is to... my opponent's done, right? He doesn't have any plays. He played both his creatures already. I think my best play is to play the Delver, attack to get the 1 damage from the Oozling, then Spirit Leash the Oozling onto the Delver. That gives me a 9/9 Delver, turns into an 11/11, and it's actually going to be pretty hard for him to deal with. I normally wouldn't do that if I had another creature to play, but Spring Dryad's only going to be a 4/4 if I play it. Brood Horror's going to shrink itself, so it pretty much doesn't even matter. And I would much rather have just one huge creature than like a good Delver and like a 4/4. That's just not going to be enough, I think. I'm going to go ahead and pause because my opponent looks like he's in the bathroom or something. Okay, looks like he got back, so same game plan as 2 minutes ago. Attack, play the Delver, Spirit Leash the Oozling onto it. Then pass turn. He probably blocks the Delver and kills the Portal Shade. That Bustle Brute would have been nice last turn. I could have played it instead of Spirit Leash. So what's the plan here? I guess we should just wait and see what he plays. Only bad part about Shardblade Delver, it doesn't have regen. It sort of regens by just gaining 2 health a turn, but without actual regen, he can whittle it down over the course of 2 turns. And I don't know how many spells I'm willing to invest into keeping it around. Probably not that many. If he has a Rolling Warclaw here, that'd be like so sick. He could block my Delver and kill my Portal Shade with 1 card, then play an aggressive card in this lane. Or in whatever lane he wants. Spirit Frost Shaman does 5 damage to me. It's not the worst. The fun guy. That's a 12 Delver rank too. It's so big. I think I'm going to play Abyssal Brute and Deathseeker. Abyssal Brute in the offlane just because there's no reason to play a 5/5 regen 1. I'd rather like draw a rank 2 creature and give that regen and a +1/+1. And then play this guy. Attack. My Delver goes to 4 toughness, which sucks. And then I'm going to have a huge Delver, like a 7/7 Delver that gets +4/+4 every turn. Even could have a big Roaming Warclaw if he doesn't play anything too threatening. I can't imagine... Oh. Yeah, so that Invoker did nothing. That's why Invoker's not very good. Like, it's pretty small. It's on the small side. It's only got 6 toughness here. And its damage is completely random. Also, what did the... that's fine. It's whatever. So, I'm going to play a Delver here. And... do I want to play Roaming Warclaw? Probably. Roaming Warclaw or Matriarch? I want to play a card before. Like, I'm not going to block the Invoker just so I can get an extra power of my guy. And this way I get to... I don't want to block a Raptor. That's not very good. It makes my Spirit Leash worse. So now I can play Abyssal Brute and Infernal Visage, maybe? Abyssal Brute's not that great here, but I think having a level 3 card is better than playing a Graveborn Glutton. Though, like, if I had to trade this Graveborn Glutton for an Invoker here, that's better than trading Abyssal Brute for Invoker, right? Let me see here. It actually might be the play to... No, I need to kill this. I need to kill this 10. I can't let this hit me for 10 every turn. I'm going to just play the level 2 Abyssal Brute and trade with it because I want the level 3 Abyssal Brute in my deck. Even though I don't get any value from it. Staggerless is really good, by the way. It's not really good, but it's quite solid. The 4 health a turn it gives is really good. It lets you win closer races. Okay, now I'd like to see him deal with this Delver. Unless he has a level 2 Stormcaller. Actually, he has a lot of cards to deal with it. So I actually wouldn't like to see him deal with it. I take it back. He has a level 2 Totem Bound Berserker, a level 2 Stormcaller. I think that's... There's probably more I'm forgetting. Being 20 life behind him right now doesn't really matter that much, because he's playing Uterra Tempest, which is a very tempo-based sort of pair. It needs to... It's kind of an awkward combination to explain, because I don't think it's that great. It's a really good early game combination, because it has like fun guy, like in this case, he has a fun guy, he has Stormcallers, stuff like that. You can play Deep Branch Prowlers if you want to. Like, you can have a really overwhelming early game. But he didn't have an overwhelming early game, and generally Tempest cards don't scale that well late game. They just have really small butts. Their health is quite low, so they're easily dealt with. So it's kind of tough to go into the late game with Tempest. Whereas Uterra and Nekrium scale like fairly well. Especially like with Delvers and Necromoebas, they get so big. 12/12, it gets +6/+6 every turn, and it's hard for them to deal with that because they have no like Blightwalkers and stuff. Like, all their spells is just damage or pump. Like, they have to block your creature and damage it, or just damage it, because they have no direct kill spells other than Dendrify, because as we've discussed previously, Dendrify is amazing. I haven't seen a Dendrify from him yet. It's highly possible he has it. I mean, I tend to take Dendrify pretty highly in draft, since I hate losing in rank 3 to just rank 3 cards when I get level screwed. And Dendrify is a pretty helpful card to have when you have level screwed, because a 6/6 Tree Folk is not that threatening in level 3. Looks like my opponent has some sort of bladder leak. Even though, one of the weird things about recording is I tend to take a lot more time than I normally do. But it's weird that, because I'm trying to explain everything and think of a plan, I miss a lot of stuff. Like, there's what was it, last draft, I like missed a damage with an Oozling, then had a Graveborn Glutton in play that could have dealt all but 1 damage to him. The Glutton had poison on it that was lethal, so I could have dealt him all but 1 damage to put him at 1, then passed the turn, had the Glutton die, and the Glutton would have dealt damage to him to kill him. But I didn't think about that for some reason. I just like completely missed it because I was trying to explain like how to recover from this 1 damage loss, and I made some horrible play that like wiped my board. I still ended up winning, but like I looked back on the video and I'm like, what am I doing here? What's wrong with me? Okay, what has he got here? So he played... I didn't even see the second card he played. He played a Spearfrost Shot. Master of Elements, that's a good card. I mean, not now, because it's rank 1 Master of Elements, but... Let's get this Value Deathseeker going. Do I want to play this Necromoeba in this side lane? I already played the Infernal Visage, I believe. Yeah. Sorry. I have an Abyssal Root I could play. No, I'm probably not going to. Yeah, I think this Necromoeba in the side lane's good. That Value Deathseeker, just free 10/10. Oops, didn't mean to open that. But this is what I was saying about Uterra Tempest. Like, he has to devote a lot of resources to killing my creatures that are already on the board. Like, it's certainly possible. He can definitely do it. Like, he played an 11/4 there and then did some damage to my creature. But because he's spending all his resources killing a couple of my creatures, like, he doesn't have time to deal with the creatures I play on top of those creatures. He just doesn't have enough resources. What's the play here? I think it's actually Aetherphage. Try to get a spell out of his hand. If I don't, it's whatever. Whispers of Dendrus. This is not... It's okay, I guess. It's like a team-wide pump. And then I'm gonna Spirit Leash the Aetherphage onto this Swarming Warclaw. Just to give it 8+8+8. It's immediate damage on top of... I don't need the Aetherphage. Like, it's just a 6/5. Putting 8 damage into Roaming Warclaw with regen 3 is a lot better than having an Aetherphage. Especially since the 8 damage is immediate. Whereas the Aetherphage should have to wait a turn to attack. So he dealt damage to my Necromoeba and didn't do any damage enough to kill anything. I guess that's his only play though, to hope to like do a lot of damage to the Warclaw to kill it. I don't know how he comes back from this. I guess I'm play a... Actually, it might be better to play Shardblade Delver than Abyssal Brute. Or Abyssal Brute and Shardblade Delver, because I don't need the Necromoeba. Shardblade Delver is 10 power, so is Necromoeba. Necromoeba is a little more resilient. But I'd rather have the Abyssal Brute in play than the Necromoeba, because if my Warclaw or my Necromoeba dies right here, I can replace it with something like gigantic, because Abyssal Brute goes +3/+3 to anything in the side lane. +3/+3 regen 3. I mean, I didn't draw anything sweet to do that with, but I can. If he kills both my side lane creatures, I can just play a bunch of Deep Branch Prowlers, I guess. He didn't do that, which I didn't really expect him to. And then I won! Nice. So that's what? Like 3 packs and a silver pack. Sweet. So yeah, nice. That was my draft. That's really all I got. Can't do another one. I'm gonna open the packs later, like at the end of the day. That's just kind of how I do things. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I think I did pretty well this draft. I actually forgot to take a screen cap of the draft deck. Oh well. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching.